Okay, can you see the screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have started stability in our previous lecture. So stability, as I already discussed, that is the ability of the system to maintain interconnected operation, to maintain integrated operation, and stability can be broadly classified into two types. One is the conventional stability of rotor angle, basically the stability of synchronous machine, because most of the machines in power system are synchronous machine, most of the generators others, and previously all generators were synchronous generators. So people then define stability in terms of the stability of the synchronous machine, in terms of the ability of the synchronous machine to maintain synchronism. Okay, after some disturbance. Nowadays, the composition of generation has changed. Now you can say that 80% of the generation is from synchronous generators and remaining 20% from other sources like PV and that wind sources. Wind sources are basically induction generators. So, but still the stability, when we talk about stability, it is the ability of the rotor angle stability. It is the ability of the synchronous machines to maintain synchronous operation following a sudden disturbance. Okay, this is the meaning of conventional stability. And later on, another form of stability problem has been encountered, and this is called the voltage stability. It is the ability of the system to maintain voltage. And this problem basically occurs due to the dynamic load. Dynamic load means because of the motor load. And what are the motor loads basically connected to our system? Most of the motor loads are AC motor load, that means induction motor load. And you know that induction motor load, they of constant power type. That means if the system voltage decreases, then they will demand more current because they will maintain constant power. So they will demand more current. So as the system voltage decreases, they will be demanding more current, resulting in more voltage drops. And this type of situation, once it is started, it will ultimately lead to the collapse of the system, collapse of the voltage of a particular node. The voltage of a node is collapsed, other nodes also will follow it. Okay, so this is how the voltage stability problem is appearing. And the problem is now there because of the loading of the system. Previously, there was not much transfer of power from uh, generating, say, generators at one location to the load at a very at the end of a very long transmission line. This type of situations were not there because then most of the cases that was confined in a particular geographic region. Okay, but as the power system actually developed in size, have increased in size, the situation has become such that generating stations will be delivering power to the system, and this power may be actually consumed, may be drawn by loads located at several hundred kilometers away. Okay, so it involves transmission of large amount of power over long distances. And since there had not been matching increase in the transmission capacity with the increase in the generation and load, so what happened? Transmission lines were becoming more and more heavily loaded. That means when the lines are becoming more and more heavily loaded, there will be voltage drop. So voltage problem became prominent after the you can say that as the power system developed in size. And the ability of the system to supply reactive power became a major problem because you know that voltage and reactive power, they are strongly coupled. We have discussed this. Voltage and reactive power, they are strongly coupled. So if you cannot supply voltage, power as the load increases, then what will happen? There will be reduction in node voltage, and this reduction in node voltage, because of the presence of dynamic load in the system, may result in the collapse of system voltage. So this problem is called the problem of voltage stability. Voltage stability problem is generally identified at the problem of the load. Okay, so that's why it is called the stability of the load. But rotor angle stability, it is the problem of maintaining synchronous operation of the generators. So this is the stability of synchronous machine, rotor angle stability, and voltage stability problem is the problem of maintaining uh, on integrated operation, maintaining operation of the load. Basically what happens, node voltage at the load end collapses, and as a result, the voltage, the total system also collapses. Okay, so this is the situation. Obviously, this type of situation will start to occur after sudden disturbance in the active power demand or the reactive power demand. Rotor angle stability generally starts after the a large disturbance in of active power demand and active power supply, but voltage stability problem basically will occur because of the problem of reactive power supply. So when there is a sudden change in demand because of the lack of reactive power sources in the system may not be able to maintain the required voltage at different loads. So this is the problem of voltage stability. In this particular, so in this power system performance, basically, we shall be actually dealing with the rotor angle stability and not the voltage stability problem. Okay. So now the rotor angle stability again may be classified into three types. These are steady state stability, dynamic stability, and transient stability. What is the steady state stability? So this is determined by the maximum load that a synchronous machine in power system can deliver without losing synchronism when the load is increased sufficiently slowly. So what we assume here is that increase in demand is very slow. Okay, basically it is actually the situation is like that. Increase in demand is slow because this problem of stability, we assume that it will be occurring because of the change in demand by the consumers. Okay. And another form of stability, that is the transient stability, this will mainly occur because of the change in because of the change in demand by a large amount. That means the change in demand by a large amount may occur because of the occurrence of fault. So transient stability problem will occur because of faults, you can say, but the steady state stability problem, this basically occurs because of the change in the demand by the consumers. And what we assume here is that we assume that change in demand is so small that there will hardly be any introduction of oscillation in the rotor of the synchronous machine. That means we assume that because of the change in demand, system load angle, that means delta, it will actually increase or decrease so smoothly that we can hardly determine, we can hardly identify any oscillation in the rotor of the synchronous machine, though you know that this cannot happen because any change in speed of the synchronous generator will involve some oscillation because the inertia is involved. But here in steady state stability, when we discuss steady state stability problem, our assumption is that the change in demand is so small that the variation in delta. What is delta? Basically, it is the angle between the terminal voltage and the induced EMF of the generator. We have seen the model of generator. We have discussed the phasor diagram. There you have seen that. Delta is the angle between the terminal voltage and the internal voltage, generated voltage. And basically, internal voltage induced EMF is aligned with the quadrature axis of the generator rotor. Okay, quadrature axis of the pole. Therefore, you can say that for change in the value of delta, what is needed? Speed of the generator has to be changed, because if the speed of the generator remains synchronous and the power system also operate at synchronous frequency, then what will happen? There cannot be any change in speed. Okay, so what happens momentarily after a change in demand, generator speed will either increase or decrease depending upon the nature of the change. So what will happen then? Then as a result, delta will change. What we assume here is that this change in delta is very smooth. That means when delta is increasing, it is increasing slowly without any oscillation. There is no decrease associated with the increase in delta. Similarly, when the delta is decreased, we assume that there is no increase. That means again there is no oscillation. So this assumption obviously can be possible in a theoretical situation only. This is not possible in a practical situation. So we can say that steady state problem basically is actually of theoretical interest only. In actual system, this problem perhaps will never occur because load changes always will involve some change in speed of the generator, and there will be some change in there will be some oscillation of the generator rotor in that case. But in the discussion of steady state stability, we shall assume that there will be no change in, or there will be no oscillation in the rotor of the generator. Okay. So therefore, we assume that for theoretical analysis particularly, we assume that when the generator load is changed sufficiently slowly such that there will be no oscillation in the system demand, oscillation in the rotor of the generator, then this particular problem of stability will occur. And this stability, what is the limit, as already we have discussed when we have discussed the model of the synchronous generator, it will occur at delta equal to 90 degree. That means the steady state stability limit gives us the limit of stable operation of the generator, okay, maintaining all other conditions, all other system conditions. Or you can say that steady state stability limits basically refers to the maximum load delivery capacity of the generator. So, okay. So, however, you see that therefore occurrence of this type of stability is rare because the alternators are never loaded at such high value due to the constraint imposed by other types of stability problems. So we have actually not discussed this issue previously. What we have discussed? We have discussed what is the maximum possible load that the generator can deliver, and what is that load? That is corresponding to the peak of the power angle curve, that is corresponding to delta equal to 90 degree if we neglect resistance of the generator, okay, and if we think that the generator basically is a cylindrical rotor type. So already we have mentioned that we shall be discussing with cylindrical rotor type generator for simplicity. So assuming that generator is cylindrical rotor type, the maximum power that the generator will be able to deliver will correspond to delta equal to 90 degree, and therefore you can see that limit of steady state stability is delta equal to 90 degree because this is the limit that the generator can deliver. This is the angle that the generator at which the generator can operate to deliver power if we can change delta so smoothly that there is no oscillation of the rotor of the generator. Okay, so under this theoretical assumption, under this theoretical condition, maximum loading capacity will be delta equal to 90 degree. But practically, this loading condition will never occur in power system. Why this will not occur? Because generators will not be in a position to deliver load at delta equal to 90 degree. Why? Because there are many other constraints, many other limitations under which a system has to actually operate, a system has to deliver power. What are these conditions? Because you have to actually, whenever you are operating a system, you have to keep in mind that the instability of the system may occur because of many other reasons. What are the many other reasons? Because you are, say, you are operating a generator at delta equal to 90 degree. Suddenly, a disturbance may take place at anywhere in the power system, and then what will happen? The generator will respond to that disturbance, and the stability of the system may be disturbed. Stability of the generator may be disturbed, and as a result, stability of the system also may be disturbed. Because when the stability of the generator is disturbed, when the stability of a generator is hampered, and it will automatically influence on the stability of the total power system. Therefore, generators will never be operated at this value of delta. Generators will never be operated to deliver the maximum possible power limit and to occur to deliver power corresponding to delta equal to 90 degrees. So this type of operating condition will not occur in power system, but still this is important to analyze this because this gives us the idea regarding the maximum power handling capacity of the system. Okay, regarding the maximum loading capacity of the system. So from that viewpoint, it is important to discuss or important to analyze the steady state stability problem. So basically, how we define the steady state stability? We define it that operating condition at which the system or at which the generators will be possible to deliver power, and that is the maximum permissible power transfer capacity, power delivery capacity of the generator. Obviously, that will occur at delta equal to 90 degrees. So, steady state stability problem basically is of theoretical interest to know the maximum power transfer capacity, maximum loading capacity of the power system. Okay. Now, then actually comes the other stability that I have not mentioned yet, that is the dynamic stability. So this is actually the practical stability, steady state stability problem. Why this is actually the practical stability, steady state stability problem of the system? Because actually power system is not in steady state, can never be in a steady state condition. And okay, it is not possible that power system is occurring, operating at um, a certain frequency without any disturbance, without any oscillation. This will not happen. Why this will not happen? Because always there will be some load increase or load decrease. Always there will be some disturbance in the system. Okay, because there are so many consumers connected, so many loads are connected. Okay, somewhere if some of the consumers are increasing its demand, switching on a load or switching off a load, then it will have some impact on the power balance of the system. As a result, there will be some change in the speed of the generator. As a result, some change in the frequency of the system. So our system can never be in perfect steady state condition. Okay, and here by mentioning these terms, dynamic stability, that means you can say that power system always will be in a dynamic situation. Always there will be some oscillation, always there will be some change in speed. And the ability of the system to maintain synchronous operation while this dynamic condition is prevailing in the system is referred to as the dynamic stability of the power system. That means you can say that this dynamic stability problem is the problem of actual steady state stability when the system is actually encountering small changes in demand, small disturbances are being encountered, and these small disturbances are always happening in the system in the form of some change in demand, some increase in demand, some decrease in demand. Okay, so that's why this dynamic stability problem, that means you can say that what is the difference then? It is the steady state stability because of small change in demand is the steady state stability is the problem of stability for small change in demand. Obviously, it is the problem of stability of synchronous machine for small change in demand. So small that there we can ignore any change in the so we can ignore any oscillation in the system. Okay, and dynamic stability problem is the practical steady state stability problem. Why practical steady state stability problem? Because in the true sense, system is never in steady state. Always it is in a quasi steady state. Okay, some oscillations are always happening in the system, and the ability of the system to maintain synchronous operation under the influence of these small changes in demand is called the dynamic stability. And since this is due to small change in demand, this is also known as small signal stability. That means small change in demand means also referred to as the small signal stability. And it is determined by the capacity of the synchronous machine of a power system to remain in synchronism when the latter is subjected to small disturbances such as normal switching on and switching off of load in the system. Because these small change in small disturbances may occur, or it will occur rather, because of change in demand only. So when these changing demands are occurring continuously in the system, then it is the ability of the synchronous generators to maintain synchronism under this operating condition. Okay. How the instability will occur in case of the small disturbances? Instability occurs in the form of rotor angle oscillation. Okay, because of small change in demand, obviously there will be some, always there will be some oscillation because speed will change. As a result, as we have discussed previously, while we have discussed the model of synchronous machine, model the power angle curve we have discussed, there we have shown that sometimes speed will be above synchronous, sometimes what will happen? The power input will be more than the power output. Speed will change again, delta will change, and sometimes again, what will happen? The power output will increase, will actually supersede the power increase. So as a result, there will be some oscillation, and gradually, if the system is having that capability, this oscillation will gradually die down, and system will again uh, come back to the so-called the steady state situation. Again, while the system is coming back to steady state condition, again obviously some load will be changing. So it is the ability of the system, or it is the ability of the synchronous generators to maintain synchronous operation under continuous variation in the system load. Okay. So instability occurs in the form of rotor angle oscillation. That means in the form of oscillation of delta that grow in magnitude until the machine or machines undergoing oscillations fall out of step. Falls out of step means it is becoming, or it is losing synchronism. Okay, so how this instability may occur? It may occur by continuous increase in rotor angle. Why this rotor angle will increase? Obviously, the change in demand is very small. But what happens? This particular form of stability basically occurs not simply because of the change in demand, but there is other effects. What are the other effects? Later on, we shall see that the power system is having some control mechanism, some control features. What are these control features? One is this governor we have already discussed. Governor will try to follow the change in demand. How? It will sense the change in speed, and as a result, it will try to adjust the opening of the steam valve. This is one side. At the same time, there is another thing, that is maintaining of system voltage. Already I have mentioned that everywhere in any power system, generators are always operated at constant terminal voltage. Okay, when the load varies, generator maintains their constant terminal voltage. But how the generators can maintain their constant terminal voltage? This is by changing the field current of the generator. Who changes the field current? It is the excitation system associated with the generators. So generators are associated with excitation system. This excitation system, later on we shall see what are the components of excitation system and how they work. Okay, we shall see this. This excitation system will try to maintain constant terminal voltage. So as the load increases, what will happen? You see, obviously there will be some change in voltage, there will be some reduction in voltage because generator will be delivering more current, so there will be more voltage drop. Then exciter or excitation system will try to correct this change in voltage. We try to adjust the voltage. We try to maintain the system terminal voltage constant. So they will change the field current. In the meantime, say again the system load changes. Again the generator rotor, sorry, again the exciter will try to change the field current. So as a result, you see that there is one disturbance from the consumers. They are increasing their demand or decreasing their demand. At the same time, to correct the, you can say that uh, in order to actually correct the terminal voltage, okay, because of that load change initiated by the consumer, the generators will encounter another type of disturbance. This disturbance is in the form of change in field current. and it is initiated, it is actually happening continuously in the system. The field current are always being adjusted by the excitation system to maintain the constant terminal voltage. Because of this continuous, we consider that disturbance occurring in the system, it may so happen that generator always will be in a quasi steady state condition. There will be always oscillation in the speed of the generator. Okay, because again there are some disturbances imposed by the excitation system. Okay, these oscillations, okay, obviously there will be small oscillations because change disturbances are small. These small oscillations, if they coincide with the natural oscillation, natural frequency of oscillation of the system, then what will happen? That oscillation may continuously grow. That means generators may encounter a situation where the damping of the system becomes negative. Okay. Otherwise, what is the effect of damping? Damping actually, it actually reduces the oscillation gradually. Okay. When the damping is positive, means the oscillations are decreasing. They have the impact to actually oscillation involves some unbalance in energy, okay, unbalance in power. Because of this damping present in the system, that oscillation will gradually die down. But because of the additional disturbances incorporated in the system by the excitation controller, there will always be some oscillation of the rotor of the generator. Because industry map will change. By changing the field current, industry map will change. So again, there will be some oscillation because always there will be small change in power generation because of that. Okay. So these oscillations may be such that the frequency of this oscillation may coincide with the natural frequency of oscillation of the generators. Okay. And if this happens, those oscillations initiated by the controllers, means excitation controllers, initiated by the change in demand, may actually grow. Okay, because if they coincide, there will be resonance, and because of the resonance, the oscillation may continuously increase. Instead of decreasing, it may increase, and this may lead to the instability of the generator. Okay, and this is called the problem of dynamic stability. So dynamic stability because basically is the practical stability problem because it is due to small disturbances caused by the increase or decrease of demand. But to correct the effect of the small disturbances, generators excitation system connected with the generator will again change the field current of the generators. Okay, because of the change current, again there is some additional disturbances introduced in the generator, and because of the effect of these disturbances, generators always will be in a constant situation of oscillation. These oscillations sometimes may grow because of the matching of this oscillation with the natural frequency of oscillation of the generator. As a result, instability of the generator may occur, or as a result, the generator may lose synchronism because the oscillation is growing. These oscillation, because of negative damping created by this excitation controller, ultimately may lead to the instability of the generator and may lead to the instability of the power system. So this is the problem of dynamic stability. Okay. So analysis of such oscillatory stability. Okay, that obviously since the loads are always changing, the system will be in continuous oscillation. In continuous oscillation, it will be oscillating situation. So instability or oscillating stability or instability allows linearization of the system equation. Actually, what happening? When we analyze the system, we have to develop some mathematical model. For frequency control, we have developed some mathematical model. You have seen. Okay. We have assumed that, or we have seen that frequency control is possible if the change in demand is very small. So small that it will never be a problem of maintaining stability. Then the frequency control problem becomes relevant in power system. So we analyze frequency control under that concept. Similarly, for analyzing stability, again we have to develop some mathematical model of the system. Okay. Those mathematical model, because the disturbances are very small, okay, are to be analyzed by representing the system components basically. What are the system components? Because load change has to be reflected, generator inertia has to be modeled, and the representation of generator inertia for stability and for frequency they are different. We shall see how to represent the generator. Okay, not only that, we shall have to represent the field winding of the generator. Why? Because there is a change in the field current also. We shall have to represent the exciter also. Okay, but because the disturbances are small, all these disturbances are small, here in representing the system, though the actual equation for representing the system will involve some nonlinear differential equation, we shall be in a position to simplify the analysis or simplify, or we shall be in a position to linearize this equation. That means, since the disturbances are small, we shall be able to linearize the system equation, but many components of the system are to be represented because these disturbances are small and they will occur for a prolonged period. So many components of the systems will be involved in this, and all these components are to be represented properly for analyzing the dynamic stability problem of our system. Okay, so since the and if we want to control the dynamic stability, then we shall have to represent the additional controllers as well. So all the controllers, including the governor, field system, the damper winding, rotor mass, load, everything are to be represented. Okay, and because so many components will be involved, the analysis of dynamic stability problem will be rather involved, will be rather complicated. So what we shall do in this course, we shall not be discussing or we shall not be analyzing the dynamic stability problem because it will be an involved analysis. Okay, so but we shall know what is dynamic stability problem. That's why we are discussing this. So we must have some idea what is the problem of dynamic stability, why this occurs in power system. That must be known by us. That must be known to us. That's why we are discussing this. But we shall not be analyzing the dynamic stability problem here in this course because it will involve prolonged analysis for a prolonged period. It will involve linearization of the system equation, and system equations will involve representation of many system components, including generator, including the field winding of the generator, including the excitation system, governor, load, everything. Okay, that's why since the analysis will be much involved, okay, and also we have to analyze the control of dynamic stability. So other controllers also are to be represented. So that's why we shall not be discussing the or analyzing the dynamic stability problem here. But we must know what is the dynamic stability problem, how it differs from the steady state stability problem. Okay, what is the reasons for the dynamic occurrence of the dynamic stability problem. These things are to be known. That's why I have discussed all these things. So can you tell me, or is there any question up to this, or could you understand the difference between the steady state stability problem and the dynamic stability
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
could you repeat the induction generator stability?
problem? Please repeat the question.
Sir, induction generator stability. Could you repeat
Ah,
that?
induction generator, not induction generator. Basically, voltage stability. When we actually previously, if you see the textbook of some previous, say, which were actually written, which were actually published some say 20 years ago, there will not find any mention of voltage stability problem. because at that time, when people actually discuss stability problem, they always have discussed regarding the problem of synchronous machine stability, because then stability was understood to be the problem of synchronous machines only. But later on, with the increase in the power transfer in power system, that means large power nowadays are being transferred from one location to another. Why this is happening? Because power system is increase in size. Transmission lines are becoming heavily loaded. And because of this heavily loaded transmission line, now, or basically this is occurring because of there had not been sufficient increase in the generation capacity. That's why it is occurring. So voltage will become low at the load end, and at the load end, what are the loads? There are static loads, say like the lamp we are connecting, but at the same time there are dynamic loads as well. And dynamic loads means mostly they are motor load, mostly they are induction motor load, because system is AC. Our system is AC. So loads mostly will be AC loads, and motor loads will be AC motor load. And AC motor loads means induction motor load. And induction motor load, are having the characteristics that they behave as constant power load. That means if the voltage is within a permissible limit, then they will will act as a constant power load. That means as the voltage decreases, they will draw more current. So when when the voltage at the load end is, or the motor end is already low, because of the nature of the load, dynamic nature of the load, constant power nature of the load, they will consume more power, more current. As they are drawing more current, there will be more voltage drop. At reduced voltage, they will draw further more current, and again more voltage drop will take place. In this way, voltage may decrease continuously. And if this thing prevails, if it continues, then what will happen? Because of continuous reduction in the system voltage and continuous increase in the load current, there will be continuous further reduction in the node voltage, and it may so happen that the motor will not be, or the node at which the load is connected will not be able to maintain the voltage, okay, at the constant value. So it will decrease, it will fall. Have you actually, perhaps you have done this experiment, now you are in third year. So how can I say that you have done this experiment? Have you done this experiment of DC generator in the laboratory? DC generator, if you change
Yes, sir.
the load, what characteristics you have changed? You have seen, if you increase the load, the terminal voltage decreases. If you go on increasing the load, perhaps you have read already that after some time, if you increase the load, what will happen? Any further attempt to increase the load will actually cause a collapse of the voltage at the terminal of the uh, generator, because generator is generating voltage. So if you increase the load connected at the generator, gradually there will be reduction in the terminal voltage, and after a certain point, which is the maximum loading condition, if you make an attempt to increase the load further, the voltage will collapse. So have you seen these characteristics in the textbook you have seen?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know whether you have experimented this as well. In the laboratory, have you done any experiment on this?
Sir, full decay, we haven't done any experiment that the
Okay,
load is
yes.
increased and increased.
Okay. So this type of cause is basically cause a nose car because of this basic character. That means what happens? Say you imagine the plot of the voltage variation of the synchronous generator, sorry, DC generator under varying load condition. Gradually, at no load condition, voltage was on the y-axis. Okay, because load was zero. Now you go on increasing the load, you will see that gradually the voltage is decreasing. At any point, so it is decreasing. Okay, at the extreme condition, if you attempt to decrease the load further, then the curve will actually make a rapid change from the maximum condition. It will decrease, and again it will be approaching towards the origin of the plot. Okay, so shape is like a nose. That's why it is called a nose curve. So similar thing will happen in case of our system when you go on increasing the load in the system. When the system voltage at the end of the load, at the terminal of the node, if the voltage is already low, and if you increase the load at that point further, then situation will be very similar to the characteristics you have seen in case of a DC generator, DC shunt generator basically. Okay, there you have seen that with further increasing the load, the voltage suddenly changes. It approaches the origin of the curve. Okay, origin of this plot basically. Okay, so why this is happening? Because the generator, the DC generator cannot maintain the voltage, cannot supply that load. Here in power system also similar situation will take place, and this situation will take place because the load is dynamic nature, and most of the dynamic loads are induction motor loads. That's why this voltage stability problem sometimes is called the problem of stability problem of the load, and this stability problem of the load will occur because of the induction motor load, because of the dynamic load of the system. So we have not actually analyzed the stability of induction generator. Here we actually have mentioned about the stability of synchronous generator, stability of the dynamic load, that is the voltage stability, and induction generator stability that has not been discussed yet, and practically this is not also uh, this is not being discussed in power system as well. Why? Because the induction generators are also actually very small proportion of the total generation capacity. You can say the 80% is synchronous, and remaining 20% comes from different forms of generation, different forms of renewables, including solar PV, including wind, including biomass, and all other things. So, induction generator problem is not being discussed in power system paradigm until now. Okay, maybe as more and more generators are included in the system, then obviously those things also will be investigated and will be discussed. Okay, so we are not discussing the stability problem of induction generators. That has to be discussed because as more and more wind generators are included in the system, obviously we have to discuss about the stability of those generators as well. But at the time being, for the time being, this is out of scope our discussion, and also this is not yet well investigated as well, because the connection of generators, how, what is the percentage of those generators? They are basically small generators. Induction generators are small capacity because wind sources are generally very small capacity. Since they are of small capacity, people have not yet started analyzing the stability problem of those generators in a large extent. That has not yet been done. Okay. Could I answer your question? Was it your question?
Yes, sir.
Any other query from you? Okay.
No, sir.
So this, I think, so what I want to say that stability problem because of small disturbances, this is called either in the, this falls under in the class of steady state stability or in the class of dynamic stability. And stability problem because of large disturbance is the problem of transient stability. So how we differentiate between steady state stability and dynamic stability? Steady state stability is of theoretical interest only because we assume that even there is changes in the system demand, that change in system demand is so small that we can ignore any change, or sorry, any oscillation of the generator rotor. That means variation of delta is smooth, but actually this does not happen. What actually happens in power system? Because of small disturbances, obviously these disturbances are created by the change in demand. Okay, there are some oscillation introduced in the system, and there is change of some voltage also. Then excitation controllers connected with each and every generators, each and every synchronous generator connected to power system. Okay, because of excitation controllers, there are again some disturbances introduced. The purpose of those disturbances are to basically help the situation, help it to return to maintain voltage. But because of the introduction of those disturbances, because of the effect of the controllers, there may be the introduction of negative damping in the system. And as a result, what may happen? There may be growing oscillation of the synchronous generator. So this oscillation was created by small disturbances. It should have not actually hampered the stability of the power system had there been no controllers connected. Okay, so had there been no controllers connected, no acceleration controllers connected, the small changes could not affect the stability of the power system because the disturbances were small. But because of the impact of the excitation controllers, there are additional disturbances introduced, and these additional disturbances may actually cause the system damping to be negative. Negative damping means instead of the reduction in the oscillation of the generator rotor, the oscillation may actually grow continuously. So if the oscillation grows, what will happen? Obviously, the system will lose stability, generator will lose stability. As a result, system also will lose stability. So this problem is called the problem of dynamic stability. The controllers will be such that they have to be further controlled such that the synchronous generators do not actually lose synchronism while in an attempt to maintain the terminal voltage of the generator. So this is the problem of dynamic stability. Obviously, since the analysis will be rather complex here, under the in the context of present situation, in the context of our knowledge on power system, so we shall not be discussing the or we shall not be analyzing the dynamic stability problem here. But it is important to know the difference between dynamic stability and statistical stability. It is important to know why the dynamic stability problem actually occurs. Okay. So the stability problem that we shall discuss mainly is the transient stability problem. So basically the transient stability problem is the ability of the synchronous generator. It is totally a problem of synchronous generators, maintaining the synchronisms of synchronous generators under large disturbances. This large disturbance obviously cannot occur because of a load, because loads are generally of small magnitudes. Okay, small power is associated with them. Okay, so unless there is a sudden disconnection of say of a feeder carrying a large load, okay, unless those type of disturbances basically will be they are basically treated as fault, because except the fault condition, the disconnection of feeders generally will not take place. That's why while we discuss the transient stability problem, we say or we assume that this problem is occurring because of the fault occurring on power system, because when fault occurs, then a situation is created when the magnitude of active power disturbance becomes very large. So under that condition, the problem of maintaining stability of synchronous generator is called the transient stability problem. So we shall see how to analyze the transient stability problem, how to improve the transient stability of power system, and what are the causes of occurrence of this problem. So that these things we shall discuss. And today I shall stop here because of time limitation, and because I have to actually have to go for some other assignment. Okay. So I shall therefore stop here today, and in the next class I shall start from here. I shall start with transient stability. If you are having any question, you may ask me, or I shall now make your roll call and leave today. Okay. Any question you are having?
No, sir.
Okay. Then Abhishek Majumdar,
Present, sir.
Aditya Rai, then Ali Hamzan,
Sir, Aditya Rai.
Present, sir.
Aditya Rai, Ali Hamzan, both are present. Amrita Datta,
Yes, sir.
then Anirudh Anand,
Yes, sir.
Ankit Jaiswal,
Yes, sir.
Arijit Pal,
Yes, sir.
Arnab Pal, Arnab,
Yes, sir. Yes,
then
sir.
Dipankar Singh,
Yes, sir.
Dipten Mardi,
Yes, sir. Present.
Tia Rai,
Yes, sir.
Hasibur Rahman, Hasibur, Kaushik Maji,
Present, sir.
Manos Patro,
Yes, sir.
Mujahid Alam,
Yes, sir.
Parvez Musharraf,
Yes, sir.
Ritam Khamru,
Yes, sir.
Samiran Bagdi.
Present, sir.
Okay. Then Shankha Mitra,
Yes, sir.
Shreyas Khatri,
Yes, sir.
then Arman Hossain,
Yes, sir.
Mohammad Soel,
Yes, sir.
Somnath Pal,
Yes, sir.
Saugata Devnath,
Yes, sir.
Shubhasree Bhattacharjee,
Present, sir.
Trina Bishwas,
Yes, sir.
Ujjwal Haldar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anybody else? Respond anybody? Okay, then thank you. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Then we shall again meet on Friday.